Welcome to SnapLens Visual Design Education, your go-to partners for mastering Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. We're unlocking creative editing solutions and diving deep into the world of photography. I'm Ty Schwartz, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this journey. Together, we'll explore the latest techniques, tips, and tricks to elevate your visual storytelling to the next level. From mastering the basics to pushing the boundaries of your creativity, SnapLens Visual Design Education is here to empower you with the knowledge and skills you need to unleash your artistic potential. So grab your favorite beverage, fire up your editing software, and join us as we embark on this exciting journey together. Let's turn our visions into masterpieces, one click at a time. Hi, welcome to SnapLens. I'm Ty Schwartz. I am going to be taking you through this journey of learning how to put together some images for stock photography. I am going to be starting out with using Adobe Lightroom. I opened it up. I went to Paris in 2022. I took students from Virginia Beach as part of Padawan Travelers. And one of the things that we worked on is I was explaining to them and showing them different ways of creating stock photography or photography that they can use and sell. And so I figured I just created a great lesson on how to create something for stock photography. And so I wanted to go ahead and make a lesson using video so I can visually show you what I look for. So one of the first things that I do when I get into stock photography, I look in library. So I always start out kind of looking here. I mean, it's the same thing I do for weddings. So I'm not going to be picking up a whole bunch. I mean, there's almost 2,000 images in this. I'm going to look exactly. I know I took some photographs of a farmer's market. So that's where I'm going to look at. So some of this other stuff that I have here, this is just some touristy stuff that I was doing for the students and their parents. That way, every day I was able to upload stuff. I mean, one of my favorite things about going to Paris is driving past the Moulin Rouge. I don't think I've actually been into the Moulin Rouge. I would love to do that at some point, but it seems to never have enough time. So that's the... Okay, let me find something. I took my wife and my son, so we have their photographs in here also. The camera that I used on this trip, I do believe, was a Nikon D850. I love that camera. It is a great little camera. This is a raw photograph that I was able to take using a 85 millimeter. I sewed everything together, and this was the result of it. So let's go back and let's go ahead and scroll down. I love street art. The problem when you're doing something like this for stock photography is this guy right here is recognizable. This is his art. So if I was doing something in stock photography, I would have to go ahead and get a release from him, a model release. I would have to get a property release from him. And also, since he is in the photograph and he is kind of an icon in that artistic area, probably a model release for him also. So for this one photograph, I would have to go and have to get 3 different model releases. For like this photograph, again, I would have to get her model release because this is, but I wouldn't use this photograph because I have a little bit of glare right here, so it's not as clean. And then I have this girl here and the artist here. So again, same thing. Now she's under the age of 18, so definitely have to now get her parent involved, get her information. Have to get the artist information and also get an IP for a property for that image that he's creating. Oh, I went back and I took some pictures of her, got rid of some of that glare. So I don't know why we took a picture of the bathroom. Oh, I think it was funny because it was outside, it was open, and it was just kind of like, hey, bro, what's going on? It's one of the interesting places. I always joke, if you're traveling a lot, check out the bathrooms. It seems like every country has something different going on with the restrooms, and this is just one of those fun things that we were sharing and talking about. So there's a lot of local churches. Again, you want to watch taking photographs of something that is easily recognizable. Now, this church isn't as recognizable as some of its predecessors. It's one of the smaller churches. Now, you could pick something like this. In fact, let me hit this. I'm going to hit Control A. I've already pulled out all the filters, and then I'm going to hit U, and I'm removing all the flags from everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click Control. I want to Control click. There we go. So I'm going to pull this one up here. I kind of like this. I mean, it is a little bit blurry here. Not a lot of depth of field, but that's not as good. So it has a hand, it has a church. This is something that we could probably look at for a stock photography type image. Just because it's very generic, there's a lot of room. You can add text. So especially in this blurry area here, you can add some text. It's a little tight. I'd like it to be a little bit looser, but if I look at the second photograph, it is a lot tighter. I do like the hand sticking in, but it's not as perfect as I would like it to be. I do love some of these churches. So let's go back to, that's one of my favorite things about going to Europe, in Paris. I do like looking at shapes. Now, this is artistic work outside, and I think it's kind of famous. I don't ask me the names. I'm not going to go through all the names. So something like this, artist, you have to get property release. Again, this is a beautiful horse, but you still have to get a property release. Now, I think I love these flowers here just because I can do something with this. I'll get rid of this. I'll get rid of that. But that little red flower. So what I'll do is I'll just click this and hit select. And let's go back to our big thing here. Again, artwork. There's some buildings, a little crooked. Now there's a beautiful artist that was singing in one of those areas around the Louvre, and just such a beautiful voice. But at the same time, I didn't get a model release because the images I wasn't really focusing on getting people. I was really working on different things. So this is outside the Louvre. The Louvre is one of those places that pretty much everything that you do in the Louvre is copyrightable or intellectual property. So it's great if I wanted to put something. In fact, I won an international photographic competition with my image of the Louvre. It's a rainy day at the Louvre. I ended up there. Now, what I did, I can go here and I can show you. So this right here was an actual image that I took a whole bunch of photographs. I think it was 28 images. And I basically did a live action. It's going to take a second to load. This is almost 200, or it's actually like 5 gigs once it's going big. But it's, such a beautiful, let me go back to 100%. And this is how you want to look at your images too, is you want to look at your images, how in focus they are. And so this is definitely, when I travel, I love using an 85 millimeter lens because I get such clean images here. So as we get back here, it's a little bit not as clean as I'd like it to be. But again, it's the Louvre. It's going to go on the wall at my house. It's not going to go in anything for, let's go hit fit. There we go. So, but it is a live action, people love to stand. She's going to, from the perspective, she can put her little hand on the pyramids and people love to stand here. So one of the hard things about doing live action shots like this and doing multiple photographs is people move. And so you have to clear out those things. I have a little bit of bow here, but that's okay because this is something that I can put in my house, nice panoramic. In fact, I'm going to put a P on that just to take a look at it later because I'm going to I need a print for my I need to take a print for my room. So, okay, so let's keep going down here. Bridges, bridges, bridges. Paris is so known for the bridges. While we were there with Notre Dame, it was still the fire had been 3-4 years old, and they were still doing construction. They have all kinds of work there, but Notre Dame's one of those other buildings that you just have to have intellectual property releases. So this is a lot of Paris. Let's go down. I'm going to probably go too fast. I would love to say my computer is a lot faster than I had anticipated. But for some reason, there's so much information. My beautiful wife, the Eiffel Tower. Now, one of the things that people always think that, well, you can't photograph the Eiffel Tower because it's copyrighted or it's trademarked. That's not true. If you photograph it during the day, there's no license that you need, no intellectual property. But if you photograph it at night, the way it's lit up is actually what is copyrighted, or you need a release. I never really used this photo because they were in the middle of doing a revamp. I'm going to be going back again this summer, and I'll probably spend some time photographing that again. Let's go down. I want to say, I'm going to slide way down here. This is still Paris, I think. Oh yeah, Versailles. I gotta love Versailles. Again, you need intellectual property. These are a lot of really fun things. Oh, this is one of the palaces there in Paris. We jumped off the bus and went back to Notre Dame because, so this is the train. So we're getting close to the markets. I think this is day 3, 4. All right. Okay, so this is a castle that we had gone to en route. I think it's Avignon. And I love castles. So there are some things that we can photograph or we can use for stock photography. So something like this. This is one of those small cities that you can use. Let's see here. There's a Rue du Pont. I think I like this kind of a street right here. So we can probably use something simple like that. Now, you have to remember stock photography. So we have to take a look here. That's a little bit more balanced. And then now one of the things that I will always tell people when you're doing stock photography, I think this was at a restaurant we were eating at. I thought that was cool as all get out. So let's take a look at the two. I think I like that one a little bit better. Okay. And I see we looked at those already. I'm not going to do that. That's somebody's artwork. Not going to deal with that. Kids, students being silly. I do like these doors. So I'll take a look at these doors once we start editing. Right now, I'm doing the culling process. So I think that some things are really cool. And you have to always think that, stock photography is not always just something totally amazing. It could be something simple like this. Somebody's going to use something like that. I don't know what they'll use that for. But you also have to come up with a description for what you're going to be, describing. So down here on my right-hand side were my keywords and tags. I just made up a whole bunch of keywords and tags for all the places that we had gone to. Because when I went to edit, I just was going to pop things out. So I wasn't too crucial on some of those. So, no, that's not too exciting. No, I don't like that at all. And so that's something that you have to pay attention to. What do you like? What don't you like? Kids are tired. I know we were having some fun here. So let's take a look at a couple of these. This is for me. This is me goofing off, and I was showing a kid how to do selective focus. This is not something. Now, this right here is a little bit better. It's kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and just select it so we can look at it later. And it's nothing very excited. We could do. I like that right there. go. Sorry, there's a lot of ums and thoughts. I'm thinking, and so my brain is thinking this is a pretty neat little thing. So let's do that. We were doing some portraits. So they had some portraits of the students that went. She's actually one of the sisters of one of the students. And I was showing them, hey, this is daylight portraits. We had no flash. It was a harsh daylight. So I was trying to minimize the sun. And no matter which angle, that water was hitting hard. I think I used a 1.4. I did a little too much selective focus on that one. But it was more for the kids in isolation. So they had some photographs for their trip. Okay, so now we're getting into I think this is going to be the aqueduct that we stopped into. So this is some of the art. Again, we're showing kids how to photograph flowers. This is everything seems to be, I was shooting 1.4. Now, the aqueduct itself, you have to have intellectual property rights. So there's certain things that you can and cannot photograph for money, and this is one of them. You have to get a release to do that. And now I can photograph that, and I can throw it up on a website that, I'm writing a blog or something like that. That might be an interesting one. Not too exciting. Yeah. Not very exciting at all. No. Now I'm looking at it. So it's been 2 years, and sometimes I forget why exactly I took something, and I think it was more of a location because we were actually right in here visiting the city, and I thought I had some photographs of that city, and I didn't. I think I might have used a different camera, or I had a different setup on that. I do love aqueducts. I think aqueducts are really cool. Yeah, so this is one of them. I would love to be able to use that for stock photography, but I do not have a property release for that. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I'm just moving on down. I'm waiting for the everything to sync up. So this is, you know what? We were there in the fall, or I'm sorry, in the spring, and I think that water was like 50 degrees. It was cold as it all get out. This is an old, that's an olive tree, one of the oldest olive trees. So that's pretty cool. Let me see. They're both the same. What do we know? And, of course, this is a map of where all the aqueducts were in France. So that's something that I think there's a lot of carousels that we photographed. Okay. Now I know for a fact that's my son's photograph. He was fascinated with the amount of pigeons. Now this is where Van Gogh painted a few of the items that he photographed or that he painted. And one of the things that I did with the students is I said, okay, now here's a photograph that he painted. And they were on the search for where he actually painted from. And a couple of kids had found the location. And I thought that was an interesting, let's see. Now I have recognizable people here, so I won't even look at those anymore. I try to find streets. I might be able to remove those. I like that. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, this was, I let my son have, I think she wanted, she was one of the girls that traveled with us. I believe she was out of Dayton, Ohio, and she wanted a photo to send to her mother. And there's more. This is a Coliseum. I forget what city that is. I know it's in southern France. I just don't remember all the locations. One of the best things you can do when you do stock photography, I mean, literally, one of the things I used to do in the Navy is as soon as I was done shooting for the day, I would call everything, have all the information and everything written down and ready to go. Local street artist, I don't have her properly. She was a beautiful singer too. But I would write everything down and make sure that I had exactly what frame had this, what frame had that. And it made things so much easier. So now I'm 2 years out. I'm going to have to think, oh, where was this? And what do I got to do with that? So that might take me a little bit of time to figure it out. Now, this was really neat. Let's take a look here. I think I was messing with perspective on this one. I like that. I like that. That's a nice little perspective. Not so much. I like that angle. This is a city that's one of those old French cities that was up on a hill, and you had to get, I mean, it was hard to get to because it was one lane in, one lane out. But this is the French countryside. It's just, I did some panoramic, and then I looked at the panoramic after I was done with it. I was like, oh, this is horrible. Now, notice when I do panoramics, I shoot vertical. I do shoot occasionally, I'll shoot horizontal, but if I want a larger panoramic, I want to shoot vertical so I can have that 20% overlap, and that allows me to make a little bit bigger. It just wasn't that exciting as I was looking at it after I had shot it. And you know what? Sometimes I'll do, now this is French countryside vertical. And I'm sure it's a nice little panoramic, but it really, after I looked at it, put it together, I'm like, you know, and that's the way it is. It's okay. If you take a lot of photographs and then you go back and you're like, you know, I could have done better. I might've been rushed. I wasn't thinking. But again, my goal is, you know, upload 30 to 40 images a month. And as long as I'm doing that consistently, that is a nice way of just not overstressing yourself, but you're also going on trips. You're enjoying yourself. You're photographing things, and oh, that's cool. No, it's not. It was cool, small, but not big. And then let's see here. That's interesting. Not that interesting, but not that interesting. Not that interesting. Okay. That's a video. I don't care about that. Oh, here we go. Here's the farmer's market. Okay, so we're in image 12 or 1012. Okay, so here's some stuff that we photographed at the farmer's market. So I'm going to start going through and taking a look here. Ooh, I like that, but I think that goes a little bit better. I do vertical. So now I could do this. I can crop and do something with that. Now there's people in this. I'm not going to photograph the people because that girl has her eyes closed. Ladies off frame. There's beautiful flowers there, so maybe I shot some flowers. Here's some nice products that I photographed. I'm looking at my f-stop f11, so I might have gotten something. There's some nice little bags that we can pick up. They're about the same. Couple of dollars on bags. That top row is a little cut off. The little flowers here. Right there's not too bad. Oh, that's even better. Let's undo that one. Let's go right here. Perfect. Let's go back and undo that one and do that one. So all I'm doing when I'm calling this, I'm hitting P for pick and U for unpick. And I'm just going through one at a time just to look at the angles. So you see there's subtle me changing viewpoints. And, ooh, I love that lavender. Oh, I like that lavender too. So now here's something I also talk about in the lesson is, you know, if you're going to photograph multiple items, so this is lavender, but this is also lavender. So there's two different ways of looking at the lavender. And you want to make sure that when you look at it, oh, gotta have the strawberries. I love strawberries. So I'm looking her. Oh, there's some radishes. I love radishes when they're just, and then you got nice radish, but I got that dude right there. So I probably won't use that one, but I'll use that one. I think that's just a little too much. Now, because it is stock photography, I think it is too much work for me to worry about pulling him out. So I'm just not going to bother with that photograph. There's some nice little honey, but he's there. I might try that one if I can pull him out. I'll see if I can do that. Not too much work. There's some more strawberries, and that's actually better. So there we go. Got some eggs, and so I can some bread. It's out of focus. No, I mean it was F11, but if you look at where right here, that's too much out of focus. So I'm not going to bother with that. And it's just the angle that I shot it at. And oh, there we go. That's interesting. Let's go for that one. Too shallow, dark. Ooh, I like that. That's a little bit better. Ooh, there's my radishes, and I can cut that top. I wish I wouldn't have cut those other radishes. I should have shot that horizontal. I so didn't. That's the best one. All right. Oh, paella. Problem is I cut off the edges. Too tight. I didn't get a proper release. I didn't get a model release for her. Ooh, that's cool. Nope, that's even better. So I'm gonna hit undo for this and hit pick for that. I like that. Like that. Like that. Ooh, that's a little bit better. Okay. That's nice. He's in shadow, so and I don't have a model release, so I'm not worried about that. Ooh, look at that. Nice little road. Let me see what I got here. Angles. Probably right there. And we got buildings. Okay, so this is Nice. No. This is not Nice. This is Cannes. I forgot. We went to Cannes, and I think that's it. Yeah, these are my students. They're out in the water. I swear it's only like 65 degrees. They're having a great time. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going out there. Okay, so let's take a look here. I don't think I have any other ones that I want to photograph. I did a whole bunch of stuff here with them. I might have some more streets. I'm gonna look down here. Yeah. I photographed them coming and going. They were actually walking on the rocks, and no, that might be something. No. It's a little crooked, but there's nothing there that's too exciting, so I'm not even bothering with that. Yeah, so they're walking across these rocks to go to this little island. I thought was really cool that they were able to do that. Let's see. Yeah, I had them stop, and I took their photograph as they were stopped. Now, this was at one of my favorite perfume factories. They have a great cologne for men. I'm trying to think. That's a nice little shot. That's going to be a little bit better. I'm going to do the P right there. Let's see. There's the perfumes that they have in there. Now, I would say the bottles sometimes can have, because of their shape, they could technically be copyrighted. So I don't even bother with messing with the bottles. I just like taking the pictures of the bottles. I thought they were cool. Let me see what else is down here. I think we got a good 30 images. I want to show you how to edit. I'm just being mindful of how much time we've spent, and this is the cologne factory. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, figured. I know it's like it's one of those that here it is. I like that. I'm not their spokesperson. I just know that they have an aftershave that actually doesn't that makes me smell really good, and so I'm happy with it. Oh, they did. It was Easter time, so This is a product. It's recognizable. I'm going to see if I can get away with it. I think it's neat. Photo. So here's the actual Frangondard. Um, I'm horrible at French, but that's actually, if you ever get a chance to go to southern France, you can also go online. It is an amazing place to go and get fragrances. Like I said, I have one that I use after shave, and it was beautiful. So there's some. Now this is my mistake. This is a moving bus driving down a hill mid-afternoon. Oh yeah. We went to Monaco. Yeah, so I was actually having a little bit of fun with this, even though I know that this is nothing I could ever use. I was trying to do a reflection of me in the bus. So one of the things I love about travel photography and working with kids is I kind of show them all the fun things you can do, and then I show them, hey, don't do this. There's my son right there. He is totally done with traveling at this point. I think it was a 8-day trip, southern France. We did Paris, and we were in Nice, and it was just exhausting. I think I did a panoramic of the marina, and I know that I'm not going to use that for a stock photograph. Too much time and effort. So here's my son. He had a thing for the seagulls, the pigeons. He just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to let you have my camera again. You're going to take pictures of birds. But at the same time, I have some of my best friends, and that's all they do is they take photographs of wildlife. And I just never had the patience for wildlife. All right. Let's see if we can get the computer to catch up with us here. So, and this is good. I mean, this is probably not the best way of doing things, but I think by doing it this way, just grabbing a trip that I took, and then just showing you guys, okay, this is how I call it, this is how I do it, and I think this has too many people on it. So usually, I love taking pictures of streets, but if it has too many people on it, oh yeah, the Grand Prix was there. I won't take too many pictures of the street. Now, this right here, I could probably use this as a stock photograph, but I might just do that. I'm going to hit the P on that one. I could probably put those two together. That might be too much work. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that's all part of the panoramics that I was putting together. I like Monaco. Monaco is just one of those cities that's really cool to photograph from different angles and then put everything together. And we were there at the perfect time of year because it wasn't too cold, it wasn't too hot, it was just nice. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to. The last thing I'm going to look at here is we're going to look for. See if we can get down there. So that's at 1799. Went too fast. There we go. Okay, so now this is Nice. So there's some cool things here in Nice. Again, too many people, and I thought that was just a funny photograph. We might just do that to see if. That might be something somebody picks up. And then, let's see here. Nope, can't use that. Maybe this one. Might be something. I don't know if the other one's a little bit looser. I'm looking for, if I'm going to use a light, you see how I cut off the bottom of the light? So these are all raw, so I haven't done anything with any of these images. No, I don't like any of those. Oh, there we go. Some lights, some buildings. Nothing spectacular. I don't know. There was a reason why I did this. Oh, that's probably, there's a bird there, so that's probably my son. usually I know what photographs he takes, and that's what I kind of laugh at, is because um, as a photographer over the years, now this is a nice and interesting. I can probably pull that out nice. That's nice. And he's walking away, so I don't have to worry about a model release because he's not recognizable. I don't. And we'll see what that does. Yeah, so there's more church stuff. I'm not going to bother with the church stuff today. My goal was really to get like 30 images that we can use, and I think I'm probably close to it. More church. This was a really interesting church. I mean, I was in a church last year in Spain that was, oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal. Some of the artwork. In fact, I should have probably done that one. I don't think I pulled that one up for stock photos. Nope, there we go. There's some, let's see what we got here. So, oh, it's the harsh shadow here. I don't like that. I like the shutter one there. That might be interesting. Let's take a look. Come on, Mr. Computer. Let's see what it says. There we go. That's interesting. I can crop that and get rid of that red. Let's see the one next to it. Actually, I like that one better. And if you look at the angle, I'm just looking at the angles. So right now, when I'm culling, I'm just looking at angles. I'm looking at, how I photographed it. Now, I got stuff cut off here. I got this crazy pipe right here. And I don't like that. So, and I have a hot spot right here. So that was probably a 4-stop difference that I just didn't account for. Ooh, that's a cool one. I wonder if I shot up. Ooh, nope. But I love that photograph. I love the cracked walls. I think the cracked walls are really neat. Oh, there we go. That's way better. I hate that pipe though. Oh, I'm gonna hit undo. I hit too many. Now there's nobody recognizable here, but there's a brand name right here with Guinness. I wouldn't use that. I mean, as much as I love Guinness, I'm not. Ooh, there's some. I don't like those images. That's too much work. So, and you'll hear me say it, it's too much work. And when you're doing stock photography, one of the things that you need to pay attention to is how much time you're going to throw into the stock photographs. So I like that, but I'm not going to take it. I mean, I'm not going to take her. We're not going to, I should have probably got a model release for all these kids and maybe use them. That's some interesting. Hotel sus, no. I try to avoid anything with names. So that's it. Okay, so now that I've gone through everything, so let's hit all the flags. Let's see how many I picked here. I picked 41. Okay, so let's go through some of these here and take a look at what we're going to do. So first thing I'm looking at here is, there's a lot of grain in here. So I'm looking at, I was at ISO 8000, so I already know there's going to be grain. And then 35 millimeter is what I shot it at. So this must have been a pretty big one. If I was using 35, I used a 5.0. Okay, so let's go into our develop. And first thing I do when I go into the develop is I make sure that these right here are on. I don't do a lot. I don't do huge amounts of editing. So what the first thing I'll do is I hit auto, and this is going to give me a nice color balance. I'm looking for these red spots right here. So this right here, and then I'm looking over here for these spots right here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the white balance. I'm going to hit daylight, and then I'm going to go back to auto here. And then it looks, let me go back here. Yeah. Might be, I don't want too yellow. I'm looking at her hand. Maybe right there. So about 2800, right? So now we're going to take a look at this. And the first thing I want to do is I want to fix my blacks. So right here on my blacks, I want to fix my shadows. I'm going to look at my highlights. I'm going to look at my whites. So let's take the whites first. So if I go too much to the right on the whites, it's going to be way too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the left until I get rid of most of those white spots. That way I get a pure white. And I'm going to go back over here and bring open my shadows just a tad bit. You don't want to go too much on those shadows because that is going to introduce grain. But for a shot like this, I think we can get away with having a little extra grain and with Adobe. So you see here, this is too much black. So what you do is you just drive your black right over. So I'm looking at this black spot right here. You can still see it right there. And so what I'm doing is I'm just driving my black right over there. I want to bring up the texture just a tad bit, not too much. So I'm looking here, looking here. And then we're going to not mess with the sharpening. But there's a new feature here. Let's see what this denoise does on this particular image. To see if we can get rid of some of this noise. So it cleared it up a tad bit. I think it's a little too smooth. So let's go back down a tad bit. Estimated time, 15 seconds. That's not bad. We're not going to make a stack. We're just going to hit enhance. Now, one of the things that happens when you do hit that noise, ooh, that cleaned it up a lot. Now, there's a couple other things that I can do here, and I'll come back up here. And I'll get rid of that black. I'll pull that white back over. I'm not going to mess with the sharpening. I'm going to make sure that I fix my chromic and I have my profiles. I'm going to make sure I have no vignette on. So all of those are really nice. And so one of the things that I can do is I can take this and I can put it in Photoshop if I wanted to. And what I could do is I can edit in Photoshop. One of the things that I like to do, especially with this one, because it had the color shift or the grain added, I'm going to go to Nick, Color Effects, and I'm going to have file format right now as a TIFF, RGB, 16 bits, 240. I'm going to change that to 300. I always like to go 300. And right now I'm not going to do any compressions. And I'm just going to go edit. And we're going to wait for Photoshop to pop up, and we're going to look for the Nick software to come in. So now it's preparing the file. And what I'm going to do when that comes up, I'm just going to add a color enhancement or a contrast enhancement to see if that will work. Did it come up? Where did you go? I might just have to do it in Photoshop. Let's do that. Let's go here. Let's go back to edit. Edit in Photoshop. There we go. Copy with my adjustments in Lightroom. I'm just going to hit edit. And then I'm going to come up here to my filters. Come down to my Nick collection. Now I can do Color FX Pro 5 or I can do Color FX 6. 6 is the newest one. There it goes. And what I have my favorites here, so I'm just going to do a detail extractor. So what this done, a little bit too much. So I want to bring out those details so I get, the hand's a little bit out of focus. I'm going to hit ignore there. We're going to hit apply. And so that's going to add that Nick collection to that. It's going to clean it up. And I'm going to go over here to layer. I'm just going to hit flatten image. And then I'm just going to hit save, right? And when I hit save, this is the cool part. It's automatically going to save it back into Lightroom. So now here I have 3. I have a stack of 3. There's 2 and then there's 3. So I can go through here. There we go. 1, 2. So that's before and that's after. And that's all. This is all the changes I've made. And let's just we got to go make sure we go back to the flag. So now want to make sure that I am on the right image that I want. That's the first one. So I'm going to hit unselect for that one. And I'm going to hit unselect for that one. So now, let me move this up so I can see. And there we go. I like that one the best, so I'm going to hit unselect there. So now I have the one. Okay, so now we're on to the next one here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just hit auto. Let's go back to the reset here. So that's what it looked like raw. So let's talk. We're going to go to auto. We're going to go to color. I'm going to go landscape on this one, and I'm going to hit auto here. So now it's going to make some changes for me. So for here, I'm not going to edit. But what I want to do here on this one is I want to select here, and I want to use a healing tool. I'm going to see if I can get rid of this nice and easy. Look at that. And then I want to get rid of this because that's distracting. There we go. And I'll probably go back and get rid of this. There we go. Clean up that. All right. And I'm done with that. I'm going to go back over to my... So that cleaned it up pretty nicely. So let's go back in here. So this is at 4,900. I'm not worried about that right now. So I'm a little bit overexposed, but let's take a look. Let's fix our blacks. Let's fix our whites. Let's bring our... I don't want to bring our shadows out too much more. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of texture to this to bring up some of that contrast. Now, they probably won't accept this one because it's so, now that I'm looking at it, I don't even know what I focused on. Yeah, I focused on that. Everything else is out of focus. So this was at 1.4. So now that I've identified that this is not what I'm looking for, I am going to hit that and I'm going to shut that off right there. Okay, so we're not going to do anything with this for the stock photography. I think I selected that because I like that image and I want to print it up. Let me hit no on that one. I like this one, so let's take a look here. We're going to hit auto on this. And again, we're going to go to auto. Here, daylight, auto, and let's go see what Vivid does. Give it a little bit of color. So you see out of here, we want to color correct that just a tad bit. We have the shadows coming out. We have our whites. So you see the whites right here. We're just going to get rid of some of those. Get rid of that right there. And see this right here. We're going to bring up our blacks until it's just gotten rid of. I do need to crop and change it. So notice I'm not cropping, but I am adjusting this so it does have straight lines to it. There we go. I thought it's a nice little photograph. Nothing too exciting. I'm going to just throw a little bit of extra on it. A little bit of clarity. Now, I wouldn't do... It's not a lot of stuff that I do to these that I'm not going to touch the sharpening. I don't think I need to hit the noise. There's not a lot of noise there. A little bit of shakiness. What am I shooting at here? 85, 9, f9 at 200 ISO, 40th of a second. So that's why I have a little bit of sharpness issues here. So now that I'm looking at it, even though I've already messed with the image, that sucks and I'm not going to use it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Now, so you have to be very open-minded when you're taking a look at what you're shooting. You want to understand that not everything that you shoot is going to be usable. And you also have to recognize not to use, take all your time editing things because you want to, so you want to come up with a way of editing that is quick and easy. So we are at 48 minutes here on this video. So there we go. And then we go I don't want to touch the sharpening. I'm not going to hit the denoise because it's nice, clear. 1/60th, 9th. So I'm looking at my things. I'm looking at my, got a little peak up in here, and that's probably because of this right here. I still got a little bit of white that I need to deal with. So that nice and clear. And then again, what I like to do is I like to go edit in. I'm just going to pop into Photoshop, and then I'm going to pop it into the Nik. And so right here, we've already done this, and I don't need to save it. I'm going to come back up here to Filter, and then I'm going to hit Nik Collection 6, Color Effects, and then I'm just going to hit that Detail Extractor. Look how clean that looks now. I don't need to do anything else. I mean, I can do a Pro Contrast, but I don't like that Pro Contrast as much as I like that. And so what I'll do is I'll hit Apply, and I will come back over here, and I'll hit Layer, and then I'll flatten my image, and then I'll come back here, hit File Save, and it'll go back into Lightroom. I'll shut that down, minimize that. And now that's in Lightroom, and so now you can see the difference between image 1, image 2, image 1. See how clean that is? And so what I'll do is I'll hit undo that. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and I'm going to do them on my own. I'm not going to spend more time with this. So let's take a look here. We have this image and this image done. We got time. Let's do one more. So this right here. So we're going to hit reset. So that's what the image looked like raw. Again, I'm going to hit the auto. I'm going to hit auto color. I want to have this is going to be a landscape. So I want a deeper, richer color. And I'm going to hit auto here. Maybe come up a little bit on that. So the blue, you see this blue right here? I want to come up on that just a tad bit. And that's going to best with my shadows. I don't have a lot of white overdone. Nice exposure. So what's my exposure on this is f1.4. It's flat. It's 1.4. Can go 1/25 at 2000. So I might do a haze. So here's my blacks. My blacks here. I don't like this. So let's go here and let's get rid of this here. Pow. Look at that. How easy. I love the fact that Adobe does so much stuff to help us out as photographers. And so I'm just going to bring up my textures just a tad bit. You notice I don't usually go up. Now, when I bring in that dehaze, my blacks are going to go again. So I want to bring that black up. And then I'm going to try a denoise to see if that noise, I'm going to leave it at 51. And we'll see. And clean it up a little bit. Not a lot. I'm going to make sure I do my chromatic, and it's going to pop open. Now, you see what happens when you do. I should have done that first. I'm going to come down here with this is an exposure issue. So right there is my exposure right there. And I'm going to go down with that white a tad bit. And then again, I do, and it's just my preference. I don't like to do a lot of stuff, but I do like to have that a little bit of extra pop. And so I do like that color FX. And so I just tend to do that a little bit more than I normally do. I do that more in these kind of photographs than I do like if I'm doing portraits. See, I like that color. I love that color, the way it pops out like that. And it's preset for me, so it's something I've saved and I've set up. So now that's nice and clean. Again, I'm just going to hit File. I'm going to hit Save. Oh my goodness, my kitties are in here. And it's almost done saving. So once it's done saving, document, okay, don't show again. Thank you very much. All right, so now it's done saving. I'm going to minimize. Okay, so let's talk about these three images. Let's go back here. We got the ones that are flagged. So now I have 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and you see how those changed. So that's the one I want. So this is right here. I'm going to do and I'm going to do Control Z. I like that one, and I'm going to get rid of that one. And so now I have 3 images. So I have 3 images that I can use. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to hit my shift key right here. Now, let me talk about exporting these things real quick right here. And so I'm going to put them in a very specific folder, same folder as the original photos. Now I'm going to put them in a, that's not what I wanted, specific folder. And let's choose the folder over here. And let's go back up. Okay, so since this is Snap Lens, let's do, because I'm going to put more photos in here. Let's do stock photography. Photography _ France. I believe this is 2022. Okay. So now that I have my stock photography here, I'm not going to rename them anything special. Because they're already named right here. That I've already picked. My quality is going to be 100. I'm going to put a JPEG size. Now I'm going to do long edge 400 at 300 DPI. I don't want the file to go too big. If I wanted to leave it as is and just leave it as the size, hit the resolution 300, make sure that I have all my metadata. And I'll go back through and I'll update the metadata. That'll be another video. I'm not going to have any watermarks. And then I'll hit export. And these things will go right into here. We're exporting these into, let me open up a Finder here. And so now that you can see, let's go back into Schwartz Portraits. And we're going to go to Snapchat or Snap Lens and stock photography. And so here are the 3 JPEG images. So you definitely want to have everything in JPEG. You're going to shoot in RAW, edit, and export into JPEG so everything is nice and clean. And then when you're ready to go, you're going to upload these into a stock photography website. Now, let me see. Do I even have... This is a new computer. I don't think I set it up. Yeah, I don't have it fully set up for uploading to stock yet, so we're not going to do that today. So we're hitting just under an hour. So hopefully this video wasn't too boring and you're able to see how I kind of do some of my process. I mean, we only did 3 images, but I spent a lot of time going through, talking about images, calling images, and I think that by doing that, it does help people see different things. And one of the things that I always say about stock photography is you definitely don't want to take ownership of it. Well, you want to take ownership of it, but you don't have to. It's not like you're shooting a portrait for a client. This is, hey, I went on a trip. I took some great photographs. I'd like to upload them into the stock photography. Hopefully I can make some money off of these. And I'll probably make a couple of dollars off of these over time. But again, with stock photography, it's not a huge amount of money until you start getting into quantities. Once you get into 10,000 plus images, that is really where you start making a regular monthly paycheck from these stock images. So hopefully I have more stuff for you next time we get on and learn different things. If you have any questions, please hit us up. Check out our Facebook page. Also, if you want, check us out on YouTube. I'm uploading videos on a regular basis. This is my first foray in creating educational videos. And always ask for feedback, mainly because I learn when you learn. And if I'm missing something or I'm going too fast or I overlook something, then definitely I'd love your input. And I do, it's like when I teach high school photography, I learn from the kids just as much as they learn from me because I know what not to bore them with. Okay, so until next time, again, I am Ty Schwartz, and this is Snap Lens Visual Design Education. I appreciate your time and your support in this new endeavor for me. Have a great evening.